All right. Woo! Yes, I get so excited. It's the Talk of Life Talk Show with Elma and Kimberly. And I know you all thinking, who is this beautiful woman on the side of me? But Kim is going to approve this, and Kim is going to introduce her. But again, this is a Christian-based talk show, and we always talk about finish what you start. Peekaboo. Anyway, that's Philippians 1:6, and I know some people say that's not all of it, but that's not. That's only to get you to go in and read it. Philippians 1:6, because whatever you start, God wants you to finish it. So stop being lazy.
You know, it's easier to finish that chocolate cake and that bag of popcorn.
Isn't it? Stuff that we don't need to be eating.
The tasks and those tasks at hand.
That comes from the approval lady. So tonight, Kim has approved this beautiful woman to come on the show. And you know, they said, I approve this message.
I approve this
Kim
message.
approved this
I
guest.
approve this guest.
So now, Kimberly is going to introduce our special, beautiful guest that looks like she's 20 years old.
Yes.
I tell you,
she looks good.
To God be the glory.
I tell you, I want to be like her.
I felt that.
She feeling it. She feeling it. Okay, Kim.
But first, I want to say, Linda, we miss you. I haven't seen you in 3 weeks. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yes, you should feel guilty.
Linda, I didn't have anything to do with that. But we know since you the mother of the church and you are tired. Like, what you say about her hard kids?
I know she's so busy. Like, when you come to church, she'll get that. You think she's getting ready to hug you, and next thing you know, she do like this. I'm like, what just happened? She put that oil on you. She probably tired from trying to get everybody with that oil real quick.
And she has so many of us, nurture and everything.
Yes.
Which it takes a lot off of me because by her being the mother, I can say, go to your mother.
Yes.
No, but you're the spiritual mother. No, go to your mother.
Because she going to have it all ready.
Yeah, she going to have it ready.
Like, quick draw, she'll put it on. You be like, what just happened? I love it when she does it.
But we love you,
Linda,
love you, and we can't wait for you to come back and be a part of us, too.
Yes.
Now, since you've been rebuked
on the Talk Life Talk Show.
On the Talk Life Talk Show, Linda, we want to know who is this beautiful woman sitting on the side of me.
This is Pamela Kendrick. And we've been knowing each other, 3 years? 4 years?
It seems like y'all been knowing each other for years.
Mm-hmm. And I had asked her earlier, how did we connect? It was Jonelle.
Hi, Jonelle.
Hey, Jonelle. And I fell in love with her post about embracing marriage. And, even the rings to me just say covenant. And when you study the covenant, what I find a lot of people don't study the covenant. When you study the covenant of God that he made with us way back when. You just find out how much more he loves you. And I'm realizing most people don't understand the covenant.
That's it.
And
the covenant. Looking
at marriage from a covenant standpoint versus, I guess, a selfish standpoint, or you do me, gimme. You realize that it's easier to make the marriage work. Or it just kind of flows together. Because marriage is honorable. God created marriage, right? He created marriage.
He didn't create shacking.
Shack. He didn't create shacking. So if you look at marriage from a standpoint of shacking and doing everything backwards, it is difficult. But when you embrace marriage from the covenant standpoint,
it's awesome.
It's a romance.
Yes, it is.
You're constantly romance. It's a romance. And the work isn't hard. The love isn't hard. So she's here finally after how many years?
How many years we've been trying
how
to
many
get
months?
on the show?
Pre-COVID, during COVID, pre-COVID, during COVID, after COVID, after lockdown.
Kimber called me and said, "Oh, I have this wonderful woman. It's called Embracing Mary. We want her on the show. I'm getting all excited." I ain't heard from Pamela.
We ain't heard
from Pamela. Her name is Pamela Kendrick, and then finally, I got a chance to talk to Pamela. And we fell in love over the phone.
Yes.
We started talking over the phone. It's like we've been knowing each other for years and everything. And I said, and then I had to go out of town. I said, oh, Lord, I hope she can still come the next week. And she said, I know you need that vacation. Go. And I had a good time. I tell you, we had an awesome time. So tonight we're going to talk about embracing marriage. Okay? And on the back of it, I just want to read just a little because this is so nice. It says, marriage starts with God.
Yes.
Marriage works with God. Marriage continue with God. I love that.
Ooh, that's
Marriage
good.
start and it works and it continue. And she also says, keep in mind as you grow together, you will always be learning more and more about your spouse.
Yes.
Whether good, bad, or in between, you will find common ground as you continue this journey together. Pamela Kendrick, which is here, give it up for Pamela Kendrick. All right.
And I love the way you say that. Marriage starts with God.
I like that.
Marriage works with God.
And
Marriage continues with God. Because a lot of times we think marriage is history. If you look at the Bible as a history book, if you look at it as a story book for some other people, or if you look at it as a religious book, you're not going to embrace it.
That's right.
It's going to seem like a chore, a bore.
Right.
And, you know.
It's like they had to marry, you know, this
like,
one
girl,
like
we
that.
still together 49 years.
You know.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Right. And they say it just like that. See, but so when I say, I've been married 39 years, I am with the most wonderful man. Oh, let me stop. I get a little hot and bothered.
yes.
That's what you want to say when you with somebody that, you know, you continue with. Also, Pamela says here, Kimberly,
Ooh, bring it on.
Pamela Kendrick is inspired to bring each reader encouragement as she shares her heart and genuine passion for the love of people and what God delights himself in. Now, check this out. Pamela is a wife, confidant, a mother, a nurturer, a daughter, a comforter, a friend, encourager. The woman, Pamela Hicks, is with us tonight. So we're going to get all into this lady's life and find out. Tell us rather, how did you come up with this name, Embracing Marriage?
Well, actually, the Lord gave me that. Okay, He had already given me Embracing Marriage. I had been writing down the vision to do a conference, so that's really what it was geared toward. A marriage conference that He had given me to do. Okay. And so when I started writing it out and writing the conference and everything, then that's when the Lord started ministering to me about writing the book. And He said, I want you to put your story in the volume of a book. And I was like, okay, God, I didn't know exactly how much of my story and where to get started at. Okay.
Right,
so I said, okay, where do I start with the story? You know, where do I start with the story? And so the more I sat down and started saying, okay, I'm gonna write the book, I would stop. Okay. You know, I would stop, I would start, and I would stop. Okay. And then my husband said to me one day, he said, hey, God said, write the book and He'll take care of the publication. Wow. And I said, okay. So then I started writing and just kind of saying, because there was a concern. God, you know what? I ain't never published a book and how much it's going to cost and all this. So you start thinking about everything.
And that's a stumbling block right there to stop you, okay?
Instead of you just saying, okay, God, because all I really needed to do was get the pencil and the paper and write. And I ain't have to do anything else and just focus on what He said.
Instead of stopping and starting.
Yes.
Stopping and starting.
That's it. And so it was funny. And God knows us better than anybody knows us.
He does.
So he also confirmed it. So one night I went to a Bible study. Okay. And there was a visiting preacher there. And I was sitting in the back. Okay. Because honestly, I had planned on not going to Bible study that night. And so
did you come in late?
But I did, and I sat in the back.
That's why you sat in the back.
I did. And so I sat in the back, and the evangelist was up, and he was ministering, and he was talking. And in the middle of his conversation, in the middle of his teaching, he said this. He said, let me share something with you. He's talking to the church. He said, I don't know who this is for.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Right now.
And so he said, I don't know who this is for. He said, but I was at a church doing a revival. And the Lord told me to call this young lady down. I called her down, and He said, God told me to tell you, write the book and He'll take care of the publication.
What?
So I knew God was making it even more plain for me to just obey Him and do what He said.
Wow. Did this happen before your husband told you that? About the publication?
Yeah, who said it?
My husband told me first.
And then
Yes.
you got confirmation
And then I got the
from
confirmation from that.
Wow.
Yes.
And he
then
said the same thing.
he said the exact same thing. And what I love about God, anything God gives you to do, God is gonna bag it up.
Yes, he will.
He just operates like
Yes,
that. And
he
so
will.
so when I did the book, I was actually talking to a young lady that I know, and there was another young lady who was in the room that was familiar with me. Okay, I didn't know her like that, like I knew the one I was talking to, communicating with. So I was telling her that, hey, I'm getting ready to write my first book, and all this excitement, and I told her, I said, actually, it's in its submission stage, and it was in a submission stage for a minute because I was waiting to see what God was going to do, okay, with taking care of the publication. So I'm talking to her, okay, and I'm sharing with her, and she's, oh, Sister Kendrick, I'm so happy for you. So, we just celebrating, right? So then I left. I'm leaving out. And the lady who was sitting in there came out the door, okay? And she just looked at me and she said, so tell me something. Tell me a little bit about your book. And so I was just talking to her, sharing it with me, right? Sharing it with her. She says to me immediately, she said, can you tell me how much is it costing you to publish the book? And I told her exactly how much it was costing to publish the book. And she said, God told me to write the check. And God said to me immediately, and I'm telling you, tears was streaming down my face. And God said to me immediately, he said, when you obey me and do as I say, I got it covered. See, God has it already covered. So he just wants the obedience.
That's
all.
it.
He just wants obedience.
That's it.
He said, just do like I say, and I'll take care of the rest. And he did it.
Did you know this woman?
No, I'm telling you, I knew her. I was familiar with her.
And she didn't know how much it cost.
No, she asked me because, as a matter of fact, her exact question was, if I'm not being too nosy, how much is it costing you?
Woo, be nosy.
Yes,
be nosy,
she sure
nosy
did.
People.
And I'm gonna tell you something. And that for me,
just blows me away.
That for me showed me how much God cares about your obedience toward him.
Yes, he does.
And to prove himself.
Yes, he does.
In other words, because he proves himself.
Yes.
You know, he said, well, look, you know what? I'm gonna show you that I'm talking to you.
Yes.
I'm gonna make it crystal clear for
Girl,
you.
you about to make me shout up.
Yes.
I'm gonna make it crystal clear for you so you can know. So in other words, when those times come, because he does that, so when those other times come for you to step out on faith, you got something to remember.
You done build up.
Yeah.
Woo,
so you can remember what he already done.
Yes.
So he said, did I not do it before?
Yes.
Don't I do it again? So he just works like that. And and truly I thank the Lord, and I just I penned it and did what he said, and a young lady who actually was real close to me, who actually was writing the first book, she was very close to me, and so she was my editor. And so what I realized was this: I needed somebody, because she was my first, it was my baby. So I needed somebody I was going to be able to trust to pen what I wanted to say, and what I wanted it to sound like. You understand? And God did just that.
Yeah.
God did just
that. That is awesome.
Which Jonelle event were we at together?
It was at a house. I just know it was
in South Lake or in Fort Worth?
South Lake.
The South Lake.
South Lake. Yes,
I remember that we played them games.
We took
stoves and we
took some pictures.
It's Christmas time.
Yes, it was Christmas time.
That's it.
Sure did. Because you had a hat on.
Yes.
That means she really remembered.
I remember because I took a picture with her.
That is So how long have this your ministry is Embracing Marriage is your ministry?
Yes, it is.
So what do y'all do when you have your conferences?
We have conferences and we do seminars. Now back home, you got to keep in mind, back home we were doing monthly seminars, and we were doing annual conferences. Okay. And so since we've been here, we connected with the church that we are involved with. Actually, with them, we've done a seminar, but we haven't had a chance, to even, to do some of the things as far as the conferences and things that we did back home.
That's you and your husband together?
Yes.
You tag team together? That's Eugene?
Eugene.
They tag team together.
And we'll be married. It'll be 29 years in December.
That is beautiful. And I like what you said earlier when we were talking before we started taping. You said two things, but the thing that stuck out for me is that God gave you somebody that was good for you.
He was good for me.
I like that.
And he was good to me. So, in other words, a young lady asked me that question one time. She said, "Tell me, how did you know he was the one?" I said, "Because he was good for me, and he was good to me." And you got to keep in mind.
Show the audience that face. Say that face.
She said for and did too.
He was good. He was good to me because even even when it comes down with women, you can be used to a man buying you things,
Right.
and giving you things.
Right.
I mean, it can just come with the fact that he with you.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
The package
But
deal.
he was good to me. He was good to me when it came down to my emotions and how he handled
Okay,
me.
that's what you talking
How
about.
he handled
Yes,
me.
look at how she said it. How he
That's what
handled.
I'm
Look how she
talking
said
about.
how he
Yeah.
handled.
Handled
Yes.
me.
Love the way you
How he
express
handled me.
it.
So that's how he was good for you.
Yes.
So if you
And a
blow
lot-
it up, he was right there
That's
for
it.
you.
He was just there.
Yeah.
That's
And-
so rich.
Isn't it
Yes.
though?
That's so rich. We miss
Yes.
that part. We get he's good to me,
Yes.
but we don't have a man that's good for us.
For me. Yes.
That's powerful.
Because when
That
you've
is.
already,
That's
because see, when
powerful.
you've already been, you have to keep in mind, when you've already been through relationships and
Come
you've
on.
been in relationships,
Come on.
it ain't that you don't know a man. You know what a man is and
Woo!
what a
Go
man
on,
does
go
and
on, Pam, go
how,
on, go
how
on,
a
Pam.
man can treat you. And
Yeah,
not
yeah,
only
yeah.
that, you know how you want to be treated.
That's
Yes.
right.
You know, and so when God put him there, he put somebody there who was the opposite of what I was used to.
Woo!
You see?
That sounds like my story. Come on here, girl.
Yes, of what I was used to.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, when you come to a place and you say, because this what happened. He was already in the church. He was
Okay.
already in the church, so he was
Okay.
already saved.
Yeah.
Okay, he was already in the church.
Okay.
I was not in the church.
Church.
Okay, so we became friends because in my book I talks
Uh-huh.
about how I met him on the job.
Right.
So we became friends. Okay, and through the friendship, God put him there. I know that because he gave me somebody to talk to.
Okay.
He gave me somebody I can share with. He gave me somebody I can talk about some of the things that I was going through. Okay, he became a friend.
Okay.
Okay, and what I love about him was this: he was a listener.
Uh-oh.
Listener.
Ooh, I like that. A good
He
listener.
he heard me.
Okay.
He heard my
'Cause see,
cry.
no, I'm serious.
Woo!
Yes, because when somebody hear you,
Yes.
Come on here.
they treat you different when they hear you.
Come on, yeah.
When they hear you,
Yeah.
That's powerful.
yeah, because
I like that.
That's-
I'm-
woo!
because when you hear me, you're gonna treat me
Right. Like you heard.
like you
me.
heard.
They're like you
Yeah.
heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
Yes,
and
come
so
on,
I'm
Pamela,
telling
come
you,
on,
and,
Pamela,
and it
come
was
on.
something. It was something listening to sharing with him
love
and
it.
allowing him
Yes.
to be the opposite of what I was used to. Allowing him to be the man that he was. You
Yes.
understand?
I love it.
Yes.
Because I had been hurt. I had been in a bad relationships.
Okay.
I'm serious. I mean, you know what? And probably in my future book, I talk a little bit
About that.
about
Okay.
that. But actually, honestly, and God knew what I needed. He knew what I needed, and I believe that's how God operates, because He knows what you need, when you need it, and how much of it that you need.
I like that. How much? of
You
it?
hear me?
You go,
So,
girl.
so
Girl, you dripping
you know,
revelation. You
Yes.
dripping
Woo!
with revelation
You
knowledge.
speaking.
He
it.
does, and so I believe God gives you exactly what you need. So He had to give me somebody who wouldn't mind me being me, and one trying to change me, one trying to fix
I
me.
love it.
He wasn't trying to fix me, because see, I was still doing my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was still trying to, in them streets, still
Yeah,
trying to
streets
club, still
call
trying to
my
party.
name, call my name.
Come on now,
Yes.
he was in the church, and we were, getting to know each other. You understand what I'm saying? But the thing about it is that I had been hurt. You understand? So when you've been hurt and you've been wounded, it sometimes takes you a little time for you to
Yes,
recognize when
yes,
something is
yes,
better for you.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So you go, wait a minute, you know what? Wait a minute, could this possibly,
Yes.
is this really, wait a minute, you good? You know what? So you don't cuss? Cause I was a cursor.
Mhm.
Ooh, girl,
I had
we twins.
I'm serious.
Come on, talk.
So many things that I did, I
Yes.
drink. He didn't drink. He didn't go to clubs. So he was the opposite.
Of what?
You understand? And so what I started realizing is this here. He was good to my children.
Woo!
You understand? He was
Yes.
good to our children. The
Yes.
children looked at him because they was little. They thought he was Superman because he was so tall.
Yes. Yes.
But
This is good.
but I believe that God does that, and
Yes.
He puts the right people in our path, and
Yes.
He knows the why. He knows the why. Now we, of course, we do have to choose, and we have to make the decision, and we have to realize that even in the building and in the relationship, that you're gonna have to grow to know each other, and so that's the part sometimes that people that don't like.
That's right.
Right.
Yes.
Right. We want that storybook.
Yes.
We want that storybook. What we see on movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you used to say all the time, Kim, you said we have to mature.
Yes.
You have to mature in your marriage.
You sure do. That's right. That's right.
So he knew all about you.
Oh, yes.
Everything that was just opposite.
Yeah, he knew. Yeah, because you got to remember, even as I began to share with him, because the more we got to know each other, and I remember when he took me to meet his mom, it was funny. He took me to meet his mom, and so hey, I'm still claiming this friendship thing, hey, we friends, So when he took me to meet his mom said, and hi, and I said, hi, how are you? And she go, so you his girlfriend? I said, oh no. We just friends. Because I felt like I wasn't ready for that
relationship.
Yes, I wasn't ready for that. There was a part of me that wanted it, but there was a part of me that didn't want it.
Okay.
The part of me that didn't want it was that part that caused the commitment and all
and
these.
giving up that
Yes.
you got our rights.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
can't go out and party anymore.
You can't do-
I can't club
yes.
and do all this.
Yes.
So that part, which
So
one was stronger? Was the part of the party stronger, or the other part, the commitment?
Well,
part?
the part, what, the trust and will I really be able to trust you? Will
Okay.
are
looking
you
at past relationships?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Are you is this gonna change?
Is he good to
yes,
me now?
Yes.
Because I've been in this
Yes,
relationship,
yes.
and he gonna change after
I wonder is
get
you gonna
into
change?
it. Yeah, that does go into okay.
Because it goes into that goes
thought,
into play because
pattern,
and especially when you've been through certain things, you question sometimes the person that God can put there that is the opposite.
Wow.
And you find yourself questioning it, and then you feel like not only that, do I deserve it? Am I good enough for it? Why me, God? Why me? Come on,
And that's so
come
true.
on, so you question, do you even deserve a good man?
Yes.
And you do.
That is, and see, this is good, women. You all need to hear this because a lot of time what happened is you go through those bad relationships, and here come a good man.
Yes.
And this man is standing right in front of you.
Yes.
But just because that man is not treating you like those that doesn't mean that he doesn't love you.
That's right.
I love that you say he was good for you.
He was good for you.
Women, don't miss out on a good man because of past experience.
Oh yes. Because
God
God will send you what you need.
Yeah.
He'll send you what you need.
And that's what I almost messed up on because of that.
Yes.
But I thank God that he sent me. Ooh, I like that.
That's
he
strong.
knew
That's
just what I
Yeah,
needed because he knew
Yes.
that Glenn could handle this.
Yes, and I'm gonna tell you something else because I can remember because it's in my book when we talked about because I was still kind of doing my thing, and he went on the road and because he was driving and everything like that there, and I had made him mad and he told me this and he said to me, he said, you know what? He said, I was going to leave you alone and have nothing else to do with you. I was gonna break up with you, And I was like, oh, for real, And he said this to me. He said, but the Lord told me, you asked me for her. Now wait on me to clean her up.
Wow.
So what happens is that even though you meet the right somebody, okay, you can meet the right somebody. He can be the right somebody. Right. She can be the right somebody.
I agree.
But if there are some things that still need to fall off for her or him before you say I do, you may want to let that stuff fall off first. Because there's no guarantee that y'all be able to weather the storm together. You see? Now, I'm not giving anybody permission to stay in a relationship and shack. But what I'm saying is this. If there are some things that you will go through with that person that you may not have to go through. Because honestly, and he always says this, he said, well, God conditioned me for you. So you think about that. If God conditioned him for me, that's because God already knew what I was going to take him through.
Y'all together.
Yes.
He said, well, God has joined together. So God was already joining you all
So
together.
God was already working.
So he had to wait
Yes.
for you
Yes.
to clean up.
Yes.
And he stayed there waiting for you.
Do you hear me? And I'm gonna tell you something. And I tease him today. I say, ain't you glad you waited on God? So,
What you say?
So you
Woo!
know, sometimes you know you want that thing and you want it bad enough, but you got to let God do the work, because God said, "I'm the potter," and He's the potter. So we are the clay. He said, "Can the potter do what he wants to do with the clay?" You know. So I said, "God, thank you."
Girl.
So
we should have put the podium
Yeah,
up.
we should have put the podium
So
up.
she could have
That's what I
preached
was
this
thinking,
thing,
that
honey.
you could have preached
I
that.
tell
Yeah,
you,
go
going
ahead
to
and
come
take
back
the
and
mic.
preach one this
Yeah,
here.
do a sermonette.
That is, it's you know what's so funny? It's like I'm listening to you and you telling my story.
ain't that
Yes.
something?
Wow,
Wow.
girl, you sounded just like
Wow,
me.
ain't that just
Yes.
like
My
God?
God, because see, if I'd have walked out on my husband back then, we wouldn't have made 39.
Ain't that something?
You see, but I love him. I love this
Look
man
at God.
for being patient with me.
That's it. That's
And
it.
understand, like you said,
That's
God
it.
conditioned him for me
That's
and
it.
knew who it was. Because he said, "Woo, thank you, Lord. Let me go back to
Yes.
praying again."
Yes.
He had to pray many nights,
That's
know,
right. That's right.
and stuff, because I just was not ready. I
That's
didn't
it.
think I was ready.
Yes.
But that is
But
awesome.
God
God
knows.
conditioned.
Yes.
God has a man out there for you all.
Yes.
God will condition that man just for you. And he also conditioned you
That's it.
for that man
For that
as
man.
well.
That's right.
That is so
He's a
good.
conditioning God.
Yes,
Isn't
he
that
is.
something?
Yes,
That's
he
the reason
is.
why she said marriage starts with God.
With God.
Marriage works with God.
Yes.
And marriage can, this one, I see why y'all can do so many good conferences embracing marriage, because this should help somebody know how to stay in their marriage
Yes.
and not give up so quick. And when Kim said that part about we mature in it,
Yes.
you young in it, but you start
That's it.
maturing in it,
Start
you start
maturing.
growing
That's
in
right.
it, you start understanding
Yes.
yourself in the marriage.
You sure do.
And like I appreciate when Kim told that, because I had to go back and refresh myself.
So,
I had to go back and look at myself.
Yes.
When she said that, it's not all the time the man,
that's right.
it's you.
That's right.
And I thank you for that, Kimberly, because
Yes.
has she been to one of your seminars?
No.
She sure sounded like
I read them posts.
You
I
can
read
read
them
them, huh?
Facebook posts. Because even your posts, if you read them, you
Yes.
just sense the love. Love comes through it. And I like the way you say here, my covenant husband.
Yes.
I
That
like
is
that
just
too.
a key word
Yes.
covenant.
that it's not taught.
That's right.
It's not taught.
Yes.
The covenant.
Because
How the
I keep
covenant- go
yeah,
ahead.
but not because if I keep in mind, see, that's what we have
Yes.
to remember. God first.
Yes.
Yes.
So he's covenant.
yes.
So you God
That's
first.
it.
So
That's
you
it.
always remind yourself that God is 1st My husband is my provider,
Okay.
but God is our source.
Yes. Come on,
You understand?
say
So
it again.
and apart from God, he
Yes.
can't do what he needs to do,
Come on now.
even for us both.
Yes.
So we have to keep
Yes.
God
first.
Yes.
right where he needs to be.
Yes.
And that's first.
Yes. That's
And
first.
when you put God first,
First.
everything else it
It'll
falls
work.
in place. It
It'll
does.
work. So
It
when
does.
you say covenant, because some people may not know what a covenant is, what is your definition of a covenant?
God
God.
being in relationship, giving it to God, it's kind of like saying he's Lord of your life.
Yes.
God is Lord. So in
Yes.
your marriage, you recognize that this is God's doing. This is God, because of marriage was his idea.
Yes,
that
it
makes
is.
it
That's
covenant
right.
in the first
Yes.
place.
Yes.
Because it was
That
his
commitment
idea. That's
together.
it was God's
Yes.
idea. So
Yes.
everything about it was God.
Was God.
In the beginning, it was all God.
It was
In
in
the
him.
beginning.
Yes.
It was in him. He created it for a purpose.
Purpose.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we're not looking at his purpose. We're looking at the shack purpose, to do what I
Yes.
want to do.
The
purpose.
convenience.
The
of it.
Yes.
convenience.
Yes.
And when you look at marriage through the eye, and we're not gonna tell you what covenant is. You need to go study covenant.
That's right. Study.
And
Go back
understand
to the
why
beginning,
God
Genesis.
cut the covenant
Mhm.
and what the covenant means in marriage.
Yeah, because your marriage is sacred.
Yes.
Thank
Your
you.
marriage is sacred. You know,
Yes.
and I think what happens is
Yes.
that if we don't honor it as sacred,
Yes.
if we don't honor it as holy, set apart.
Yes.
You're not set apart. My marriage is not supposed to be like your marriage.
Yes.
But it do supposed to be the ideal of what God
Wanted.
wanted it to be.
Whoa.
'Cause
That's
we're
what
making
makes
Christ known. We're making Christ known.
That's it.
And I know y'all don't know who Christ is either, because we're making Christ known, not ourselves known.
That's right.
We want to make ourselves known. I want everybody know what my husband's doing. Everybody know we going to the south with friends. Everybody know, girl, we moved over here in this huge house. Oh, girl, we over here in this big car. No, it's to know Christ and to make him known.
Yes.
That's to know Christ. That's what marriage is for. Marriage is a mystery hid in God. It's a mystery hid in God. So we have to learn more about him to understand the mystery. And of course, Satan doesn't want marriage to work.
No, he does
because
not.
it glorifies God.
Yes.
The Father,
that's
Son,
right.
and the Holy Ghost. And he doesn't want it to even
That's
look
right.
like. That's why everybody tell you what marriage is, the divorce rate is high, and this and this and this is that. Well, if they're listening to God, it's not going to
would be a high
if the two
divorce
people
rate.
are listening to the Holy Spirit of God, a lot of stuff would be just move right on out.
And there would be a lot of divorces among the Christians, you know, if that was the case, you know.
So how do you help women or couples when they come to you, and you can very well see that they're not walking in love? They're not going to eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, more so.
Yeah, because I mean,
how do you get them to see the?
It's
we're
hard to
not
walk
talking
in.
about abusive marriages, but how do you get a woman to see, or your husband? How do they work that out to get the people to see that the two people here are valuable?
Yeah, because what you have to remember is this here. I mean, if they're walking together and they're unified and they are in connection. So even if I don't say covenant, connection with God, they have a relationship with God. Yes. And when they find themselves in those trying times, those troubling times, you know, that's the time. And what happens sometimes, if you're not careful, you'll pull away from each other.
Yes.
And that's the time to really come together.
Yes.
But that's how the enemy works. He wants you to pull away from each other, rather than to come with us. Yes. You see, and so that's the time where you have to come together. That I was talking to somebody just the other day, and I said to them, I said, you know, you and him, you have to come together even during prayer time. I'm not saying that you need to pray every day together, but there are some times that you really do as a couple need to come together and pray together. I know he may have his prayer life, and you may have your prayer life. But there are times in marriage, the two need to come together.
Because you get to hear how that person feels about you.
That's it.
When they're talking to God.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know they felt that way.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know they felt that way. Oh, that's what they said to God about me.
That's important.
Versus listening to Satan all the time.
Yes.
Talking about, oh, I can't stand his dirty drawers. Oh, she get on my nerves. She ain't clean up. Just constantly
negative.
So, you know, so that's just, and that's a decision that you have to make, you know.
It is.
You have to make that decision together. And, you know, Amos 3:3 is one of my favorite, I quote it all the time. How can two walk together except they make an appointment to agree? So you're gonna have to sit down and agree. And even if nothing but to agree to come together.
That's right.
When we gonna come together and talk about this? We need to agree on that.
That's right.
You know, so we can talk. So we can find out what is it that's causing me not to make me feel as though I don't love you anymore.
I love it.
You know, why is it that you feel like you don't love them anymore? What has happened that makes you feel like, hey, I don't love him anymore? Because you cannot like something.
Right.
Okay.
There you go.
But not to say I don't love.
Because there's a difference between like and love.
Because you can dislike something for so long.
That's right.
If it don't change, you can dislike it for a long time. You say, well, I just hate the way they do that. I don't like the way they do that. I don't like the way they do that. I don't like the way they do that. Well, I don't love them anymore.
But the thing is, like you said that, but have they actually talked to them and told them what they didn't like? See, a lot of times communication,
that's communication. Yes.
If they would just sit down and say, you know, I really don't like this about you or whatever. Yes. Why are you doing this and that? Yes. I think that would help out a whole lot, because a lot of times my mother used to tell me, you don't know what I'm thinking. So don't tell me what I'm thinking.
That's right.
Because I know what you need to know. You don't know what I'm thinking.
That's right.
So you might be thinking this in my mind. Yes. You know how a person be looking and you think they looking at you and they not. Yes. And he be looking at something. I be saying, you looking up. He said, no, I'm not even looking over that way.
Right.
You can get that.
Yes.
You
sure can.
Understand.
Yes.
And he's not even looking. And that's the reason why not even when I preach on Sundays now, I don't even look a lot of time at my congregation, because they on both sides. Because I had some to say, oh, she's talking about me because I'm looking in this
Because you're
direction.
looking in that
I
direction.
might not even be looking at
Yes.
them, but I'm looking in
Yes.
direction, and they thinking I'm talking about them.
Mhm.
So now I look at Facebook.
Yes.
You know, I talk to them. I'm looking at the Facebook because I've heard that. Oh, she was looking at me and
Yes.
talking. No, I'm in a vision. I might look your way, but I'm not
Yes.
seeing
Look
you.
over the
You
top
know what
of
I'm
your
saying?
Yes.
So we look at that, and that's what happens sometime in marriage when you don't
Yeah,
communicate.
when you don't
Or we
communicate.
spend a lot of time just blaming the other person versus just sitting down and looking at myself.
That's
That's
it.
right.
That's what you told.
Yes.
You
Because
said
if
on
you
the
really
show.
talk to some of your friends, they'll tell you get on their nerves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I don't know why we do that.
Yeah.
We never. And a lot of times when I talk to people or they want to talk about marriage,
Yeah.
I just want to say I just want to know what you're doing.
That's
I don't even want to
That's
know what your
right.
husband doing. 'Cause I don't talk to me,
Yes.
and I don't have
That's
this for a
right.
man really.
She came to you, so
But
you.
I just want to know what are you
That's
doing.
right.
Just sit here and talk to me, but
That's
don't
right.
tell me nothing about your husband.
talk
That's
about
right.
you.
That's
I
right.
just need to know what you're doing. And I'm not talking about if
Yes.
y'all fighting. If y'all fighting, go find Dr. Phil or Ayana Van
No,
Zandt.
they need to talk to Dr. Kim over here.
But if
That's
you-
who y'all go to, Dr. Kim.
Y'all fighting, I'm not the one. And just, what's going on with the woman?
Yeah.
Yes.
What is going on? Because nobody's making you stay there, not
That's
even
right.
God.
That's so
Because
true.
the
And why
hardness
are
of the
you
heart.
staying there?
Because of the hardness of the heart, He
Yes.
allowed them to have a divorce. But why are you there? And why are you constantly saying it's him, it's him, it's him?
Yes.
No one's locked you down.
That's right.
But have you
What's
talked
going
to
on
him,
with
though?
you? No, but first I just asked them that
But
first.
you talking to, and that's what got me with you when you
What
said
is going
that.
on with you that you think your fingers always like
That's
this?
it.
And I always got
Yes.
that's it.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
so funny.
Yes.
But that what got to me when she brought that out. I think we was talking about marriage. one
Because if
time
you sit down
said
and you really, really, really ask God,
about
Oh
you,
yes. He
he
revealed
gonna
you.
tell you, but you
Yes.
ain't gonna like.
but
I've
you're
been
not
there.
going to ask him
Yes.
about, he'll send you 12
No.
friends
Yes.
about to tell you that your stuff stink, but you're not going to listen.
That's right.
You're going to swear out it's everybody else.
Else. It's
Yes.
not you.
Yes.
And most of the time, it is you when you do that.
Yes.
Gosh, our time is almost up. It's almost up. Pamela, you gonna have to come back, girl.
I know you
No,
are. 'Cause this is
but you
deep.
all going.
This
Where's
is
your book
deep.
at? What's your book?
Actually, they can get it on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com.
Okay, and it's called Embracing Marriage. This is volume 1. You have a
Yes,
volume
and that's
2?
the workbook.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
yes,
the
and
workbook
this is
that
the
Kimberly has.
workbook.
So the workbook have questions and stuff that you go in there
Well,
and work.
it's a little something in it.
Okay,
It's a
so
little
lot of
something,
little stuff in it.
something.
So y'all go and get the Embracing Marriage volume 1 and volume 2.
That's actually volume
That's-
1 workbook. That's
Okay,
the workbook.
volume
that
1
goes on.
workbook.
Yes.
And it really will help your marriage. So can they call you up and talk to you, Pam? Or?
Well, actually, they can go to. They can get more information by going on my website, and that's embracingmymarriage.com.
Okay, and we'll have all that information
EmbracingMyMarriage.com, and
for
it's
you
good.
to contact Pamela. And you might want her to come and do a seminar at your church or your business, because businesses have marriage. They even
Yes.
call them work husband and work wife.
Yeah.
Baby, ain't no work husband, work wife here, okay? There's only one wife, okay? So you can buy me some more wigs. Oh. Pam, we have really, anytime it's good, the time go by so fast.
Yeah, it
Yes.
goes by
But
fast.
right now we're gonna have our fashion by Kimberly, and Kim gonna show us this beautiful outfit and
Yes,
these
Kim.
shoes.
Show
Come
us,
on,
Kim.
girl.
Well,
do
see,
your
I'm gonna have to
thing.
have my girl Pam get up and show
Yeah,
out her
no,
dress. Yes, come
no.
on.
Kim said she ain't getting
Because
it.
that
no,
outfit you
we
got
gonna let
on,
Kim model.
you gonna come on up here with that bad dress on.
We're gonna let you model.
She said, look at that. Isn't
Look
that
at that.
pretty?
Look at
I
that.
love that.
Look
Kim.
at that. I'm loving that bag.
And she fancy, y'all. She fancy.
Emmanuel even gave me some room to walk, y'all.
Yeah.
She gave us some
Cause
room.
he gave me some leg room today. Normally the producer gives me no leg room. Come on, Pam. Where my t-shirts? Where my
I don't know.
perspiration?
I think he left them tonight.
Come on,
Kimberly.
Pam. Come on, let's show off this dress.
I'm not modeling.
Come on.
Kim said she is not.
I'm not modeling, Kim. You didn't tell me I got a model and strut and look and strut my stuff. Like,
Come on. Show off that cute
That's
dress.
the
Come on.
freedom you have on, man.
It is gorgeous.
let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Wait a minute.
Come on.
I gotta be prepared to get my walk straight.
Get your walk on. Get your walk on.
Go, girl. Do your thing. Describe what she have on, Kimberly.
Oh, here we have Pamela Kendrick. Miss Boo, she going from side to side with this
Whoa.
lovely. I love the dress. Who's the dress by Pam?
I love it.
It's beautiful. The jacket, the stripes, and the jacket. Walk to the front, and this The braids get right into that line. There you go. Put that hand on that
Oh,
hip.
look
Right
at
there,
go,
right there,
go.
right there, right
Do
there.
your thing.
There you go.
This is the author of Embracing Marriage, you all.
Yes.
Pamela
yes,
Kendrick.
yes.
Go to Amazon and get it. We're going to have this information on there. Did you talk about that purse?
Ooh, I'm
You gotta
loving
get
that
the mic.
purse.
I love that.
Y'all
purse.
know I love
Tell us
Anya
about that
Highmark.
purse.
This is my Anya
I
Highmark.
love
She
it.
always does fun, whimsical things, and she uses practical, everyday things when she makes her leather bags. And yes, and that's my little bungee tassel that just gives it that little extra fun. And Anya Highmark is a British designer. And I don't know where I found this little dress, but I needed something cute because we went to Paris yesterday, restaurant, steakhouse. And I had to be cute when I walked up in that 5-star restaurant, honey. Okay.
That's
And I was
Kimberly,
like,
y'all. That's Kimberly. Give it
Go
up for
Kim. Go
Kimberly. I love it.
Go Kim done taught me how to what.
I know, right?
Yeah, Kimberly, hey, she can do it now, girl.
And Emmanuel got this good music playing.
I know that's right. So, Pamela, since you was caught off guard, fashioned by Pamela,
I see.
tell us, what would you leave words of encouragement to our audience?
I would say to you, if you are married and you are struggling with some things in your marriage at this time, and you feel as though you may want to kind of throw in the towel and you don't feel like pressing, you don't feel like pushing, you feel like you done all you need to do, I say to you, go to God. Talk to God. Don't give up. Don't give up on it so easy.
That's
Yes.
right.
But go to God. And the two of you need to go to God. Go to God together.
That's right. Say
Go
it.
to God together.
Yes.
And watch what God does. See, the enemy is a thief.
Come on, say it.
He
Say
come to steal, kill, and destroy.
Yeah.
So he don't want you married and together anyway. So
No.
you go to God together. Two can put 10,000.
Come on here.
Two.
Yeah.
And y'all can defeat that enemy together.
Ooh, yes.
That's right.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
And we want
Yes.
your marriage to stay
Yes.
Yes.
we
in a
do.
marriage.
Yes.
Because what God has joined together,
Yes.
that no man but a son. So
That's it.
we want you to
Thank you,
stay.
Father.
We hope that this has been a blessing
Yes.
to you
Thank
tonight
you.
because as Christians, we need to stay together.
And they can find you on Facebook too.
Yeah.
They sure can. You
Facebook.
can find on Facebook, Embracing Marriage.
Yes.
And she has some good information
She
on there,
does,
you all.
she does.
Good quotes. So
It's
check her
valuable.
book out. We're going to have this information at the bottom of the screen. And remember, always finish what you start. Check us out every Monday and Thursday, Facebook and YouTube, 8 p.m. If you would love to be on the show, www.elmatalkshow.com. And we would love for you to come on. If you're an author or just come on the
Just
show.
come on the show.
If you shy, I guarantee you won't leave shy. Okay? Because Kimberly has to approve it. Okay? So thank you, Pamela Kendrick, for
Yes,
sharing.
thank you,
And we're going to
for
have you
having
back.
me.
You gotta come back.
You got to come back and do part
Yes.
1 tonight, part 2, and part 3. You got to get one for the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Yeah, she gotta come to a sister chat.
Yeah, you got to come to a sister
Yes,
chat,
ma'am.
and we
Yes,
can chat.
That's when we go live.
Yes, we go live on Sister
And
Chat.
people can ask you questions.
Questions and stuff. That would be good, wouldn't
That
it?
would be good.
All right, thank you all for tuning in tonight with the Talk of Life Talk Show with Elma and our special guest, Pamela Kendrick,
Thank
the
you.
art of embracing
Embracing
marriage,
marriage,
okay?
yes.
May God bless you and keep you until we see you,
You
what?
face
Face to
to
face.
face.
Good night. We love you.